afternoon, or evening, good night. Okay, so last year over on Instagram, I asked you guys if you would talk to me about the world's weirdest mushrooms so that I could turn them into miniatures. And that was actually the first iteration of this world's weirdest series that we've been doing, where I take the world's weirdest things that you guys tell me about and I turn them into silly little miniatures. It's fall, we gotta have it. Okay, let's go see what you guys had to say. Immediately I see interesting things. Witch's butter? Is that a type of mushroom or like a recipe? Cute! It does look like witch's butter. It's like a jelly mushroom. Apparently it's also a parasite that feeds off of rotting wood. My favorite! Lion's mane mushroom. This one's cool. If I stuck eyes on this, I feel like it would look like some wizened ancient entity. Pixie's parasol. I am intrigued. Oh my god, I can't believe it. These are awesome. Oh, these ones look like eyes with when they've got a dewdrop on them. Is that naturally how they occur? Surely Hot Lips Disco is not a real mushroom. Whoever was naming that, they were definitely having a good day. You guys are sending me a lot of gooey ones. We're definitely getting a lot more gelatinous this time around. Octopus stinkhorn. Oh my goodness, this looks like something from Silent Hill. I love it. Oh my gosh, it's terrifying. I love it. Portal to the nether world. I was gonna say portal to the nether regions. No, it's not a part. We're doing it. Wrinkled peach? Oh my god! Amazing! It is not often in my life that I am filled immediately with inspiration and whimsy, but boy howdy, does this picture ever do it. I really hope I'm not getting AI'd by this, but I really want to make these. Veiled lady. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Oh, that's gonna be challenging. It looks like one of those little, like a badminton birdie. Puffball. Yeah, that could be so cute. A puffball mushroom. They fart. I thought that with it being part 2, we would not have as much to work with, but I feel like we have even more than last time, which is phenomenal. Thank you guys so much for submitting those. It makes me really happy to be able to interact with you and make what you're asking for. I feel like we have so much room to play. If you're not here for the bad puns, then why are you here? Because that's all we do. I think we need to go have some fun. It looks like you need it. I need it. So to kick things off, because it is Halloween fall season right now, I think I am actually going to do those jack-o'-lantern mushrooms. I did a little bit of research about them, and I found out that a lot of people mistake them for chanterelle mushrooms, but one of the ways that you can tell them apart sometimes is that they are bioluminescent, basically meaning that they will glow. For these videos, I like to start with what I would think would be the easy, and then really move into the difficult territory.
So these guys feel like they're going to be the easiest, and for clay today, we are using Sculpting 3 as always.
So I thought it would be funny if we had a big guy and then we gave him a little guy, or 2, so that it looks decent. He's gonna have friends, because everything is more fun with friends.
So a couple of facts about this mushroom. I said earlier that it's often mistaken for a chanterelle, which is a very tasty mushroom. The jack-o'-lantern mushroom is said to be easily mistaken for it because it's also a very orange hue, but the way that you're able to predominantly tell the difference is because of the little friends that pop up around it. Chanterelles tend to show up in 1s and 2s, and these guys show up in big old groups.
Oh, I really like this. He looks concerned, like, hey Frank, I think we're spending a little bit too much time together. We might be getting a little codependent. I think I'm gonna do a bunch of different formations of these mushrooms.
I had a really good time not sticking to uniform with these and putting maybe 1 or 2 of the little branching out mushrooms on each of them. They ended up having their own style and personality, which was really fun for me.
This guy looks like he's just sort of given up. He's like, whatever. I'm also getting like, I'm on the phone mom vibes from this guy. I'm gonna go ahead and use some powder to paint these so that they get a nice gradient. And then I think I'm also gonna do a little bit of some of the darker colors with paint. Decaying, they have a little bit of that darkness to them, and that feels very fall and Halloween-y to me. You'll get to see more of these guys in the Moody Glamour shots, but with that, it's on to the next one. I am very excited for the fart mushroom. Aesthetically, I don't think that this is going to be a particularly difficult one for us to achieve. I feel like we need to make sure that this is also effective. I wanna make at least one that puffs, and it's gonna be a good time.
For our shape with this, I'm kind of going for a big onion shape, and we're making it a little bit bigger so that it will have a channel to hopefully vent. I used one of my slightly larger stabby tools to make 2 different holes inside of the tip of one of our onions, one going down and then one in the side, and I have this little device that's got sort of like an air pusher on it, and I'm gonna try and get that to be the thing that propels our puff forward. I tried testing it out to see if there was airflow,
I think I feel like coming through there.
but I'm not actually gonna know if it works until the end of the video.
Like I'm gonna have to finish the project before I even know if this worked. I'm being a little bit sporadic with how I'm making this hole. Because it shoots the spores out of this hole. This puffball will just be like waiting to pop.
I felt like maybe our side buddy would be a little bit upset as well because the big one is always releasing its fumes all over the place, and we all know what it's like to live with a gassy partner.
You guys are so cute together. Little puffball pal.
These type of puffballs don't tend to come up one at a time, so I made a small army of them.
Just these two over here looking horrified at everything that's in front of them. We gotta stick together, man. Oh my god, they're multiplying.
Now that we had assembled our very intimidating barracks, it was time for me to make some of the crust that was going to go onto these puffballs. I baked 3 different varieties of this brown clay in some noodle shapes, and then I put them into a coffee grinder to make some dust.
Oh, that's perfect. Looks just like crust.
Awesome! This turned out even better than I could have anticipated. That is some mushroom crust right there. Now I just have to use a little bit of liquid Sculpey, dip them in, and get them crusty. That looks great. I am very pleased with that.
I'm gonna test the puffballs in the Moody Glamour shots, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. And now we're on to the next one.
I was cosplaying as our next mushroom. What can I say about this stinkhorn, the octopus stinkhorn, or the devil's hand, as it is so aptly named? This thing is wild. I'm very excited for the personality of this one to come to life. And upon doing my research, I also enjoy the very like embryo-esque nature of how they come to be. They're like in this strange sack and then they're birthed out of it. The whole thing is just horrible and visceral. I really like it. And so I'm going to start off by building the alien egg base.
Structurally speaking, I was going into this a little bit uncertain about how everything was going to balance because those prongs that come out of the top are quite spiky. So I made sure that our little eggy pieces had a flat base and sort of gave them a tapered vase to hold on to all of the spikes. And for the tentacles, or our fingers, whatever it is that you would like to call them, I used this really deep red and then rolled them out until they reached nice points that I could cut the very tip off of in different varying lengths.
That's an evil finger, if ever I did see one. Oh, I might need to make it a little bit smaller. This is gonna look insane if I don't make these smaller. You know what? Let's make them look insane. The world's worst migraine. That's what my headaches feel like. Ooh. I mean, these things are kind of crammed full in nature, so I guess we're just gonna cram it. Just cram it in. We want it to be bursting forth with horrible energy.
I also wanted to find a way to make one of these in its like larval stage with the ooze before it exploded forth.
I have found this glass dome and I am going to use this as sort of the egg. I think I'm gonna make some that are just a little bit smaller so that I can ensure that the dome will fit still. Oh, hell yeah, that's great.
Once I'd completed all the stages of our mushroom, I added a little bit of pigment because they kind of brown when the tentacles birth forth.
I wonder what the first person who stumbled across these in nature thought to themselves. They're probably pretty concerned, and rightly so.
Now for finishing touches on these guys, I baked most of them, but with the dome, I actually cleaned it and baked it with the dome on, and I put a little bit of acrylic paint on so that it would be sealed when it was baked. I've never baked with acrylic paint before, and it ended up working pretty well. I'm gonna show these close up in the Moody Glamour shots, but for now, it is on to our next mushroom.
The name is far too cute, and you guys convinced me to do the Pixie's parasol picture that I saw where there was dew on top of them, and it just kind of looked like irises pointing up at the sky. Imagine mushrooms just sky watching for all of eternity. They're cute. Plus, we gotta keep those pixies out of the sun. Otherwise, they're just gonna burst into flame. Nobody wants that. I think I am actually going to try and replicate this sort of iris-looking top. They do all look like they are eyes in one way or another. So the thing I'm concerned about with these is they are so thin and spindly, and I want to try and get them as thin and spindly as I possibly can. I think I'm gonna have to make the two pieces separately, and then I'll glue them together because I just think that it's gonna be flim-flam all over the place. It's gonna be way too hard, I think. But maybe that's what I should do. Make something a little bit difficult for myself. Yeah, let's do it the hard way.
To start off for our tops, I'm cutting out equal pieces, and then I'm rolling and flattening these balls so that we can get the very top shape for our mushrooms, as well as adding some gills underneath.
Okay, so here's a weird question that I just asked myself. These parts of the mushroom are called gills, but I'm curious why. I mean, I'm sure I could Google it really quick if I wanted to. But, you know, fish have gills to breathe. Are these gills just aesthetic? Do the gills serve a purpose on the mushroom?
Please let me know in the comments because I am actually curious to know if they serve some sort of like biological function or if they're just there to make the mushrooms look fancy.
I've never put the face on the top of the mushroom before like this, and I kind of love it. I also kind of want to put these in pairs as well, so I think that that's what I'm gonna do. Is I actually want it to look like their eyes are shut and they're sleeping, so these guys will be wide awake, and then the little friends on the side will still kind of be waking up and figuring themselves out.
I made the tinier, sleepier version, and then I also decided that I was going to paint these with the powder pigment as well because I just really love the effect. It's soft, it's airbrushy, and it just really matches mushrooms well.
In this instance, I also think it will be a lot better to do all the powder work inside of the pan, so I'm gonna put all of them inside of here first, and then I'm going to paint them. I just think because they're so flat, I would get a ton of dust all over my fingers and it would go everywhere and ruin everything. So if I just space them far enough apart, I can paint them in here and it's not gonna get everywhere, and then we can clean them up once they're baked.
I was having a really good time with painting these. I had all of the different shades of blue blending together very well until we hit a little snag.
Ooh, dang it! There we go. And just fix that up there. Nobody needs to know.
I'm just popping in to let you guys know that some of these styles are going to be available in our next shop update on October 24th at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm going to be having my Halloween update then as well, and we're going to have a bunch of really cool, fun, new spooky things, as well as a bunch of themes all over the website. If you'd like to be reminded of when that's going to be, you can sign up for our email list. I send out a price list and previews email so you'll know what will be coming and how much it will cost the day before, and then I also send out a reminder email when the shop has been updated. By joining us for our shop updates and supporting us there, you help me to continue making weird and wonderful content like this. So if you've already ordered from us, thank you so much. And if you're gonna come back again, thanks again for supporting my work in the channel. Now let's get back to making some mushrooms. I'm also gonna give each of these just a little bit of texture too, and I think I'll also give just a little bit of blue shading as well, so that they match the rest of our mushrooms. I'm very concerned that these are gonna snap when I do assembly. I'm really worried about it, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
I baked all of these in the oven, and then I decided that it was time for us to enhance some of the finer details with a little bit of acrylic paint. So I was filling in the mouths and some of the cracks with some dark blue, as well as the gills underneath. And then I also made sure that there were some white highlights. So I added some dots and filled in some of the cracks because I noticed that in nature, when these guys like to have a little bit of a split, there's a lot of white inside of them. To stick these together, I'm gonna try something new. I have this ooh glue. I've seen a lot of other creators use it. I'm sure that you guys have too. It's solvent free, so that's my big thing. I get headaches when I have solvents around. Press this and it's just like squeezing out. It's coming out on its own. I did not squeeze that at all. Please stop, please stop, please stop that. Why? Why? I'm kind of like, what do I do? The tube is exploding still. I think I might be better with a different adhesive. This is a little bit too crazy. Next time, ooh. So I came up with an idea, and I decided that I would stick hot glue to the pan so that we could eventually peel it off, and I feel like it worked pretty well.
The nice thing about using this hot glue too, any of this overage here, once this is stuck in place, I can just brush it with a little bit of this, and it looks like it's part of the sculpture. Hooray! Oh, that is awesome. I love this little guy. What a friend. I am so happy with this one. I'm gonna go ahead and make the rest. I love these, and I really do want to do the dewy tops, but I'm very nervous that I'm going to ruin it with the UV resin. So I'm gonna do it on this guy that's got kind of the weird little mouth here. I'm gonna hope for the best. I'm gonna have to act very, very quickly, so wish me luck, you guys. Oh my gosh, okay. Oh, let's go, it's time. This is a stressful event. I think we actually did it, hold on. Clear. I'm really glad that these guys seem to be like mirroring my concern. My immediate response is actually that I kind of prefer this more matte finish. I think I might just end up using a regular glaze on these. Oh my gosh, it's going quick. Yeah, I think my first impression is that I actually prefer these guys a little bit better as is. I'll do a couple of dewdrops on them because I do genuinely think that them having those would look cool. Oh my God, I just cured my brush. Oops. This light is literally losing its mind. Yay! They actually stand up on their own still. Amazing. I'm very excited for the peach wrinkle. I feel like if I was a mushroom, I would potentially choose to be this one. All sticky and pink and leaking. I really like that it's leaking. Maybe because I also leak. I like to cry a lot. My thoughts are that I'm going to be putting UV resin into the stem for these little droplets. Problem is, UV resin likes to run all over the place. No. It's dripping everywhere. So that could pose a little bit of a problem. I don't know how I'm going to stop the UV resin from like running around. Man overboard. Ah! Guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay, so for the top piece here specifically, I am going to have to make a custom color. There are no colors that exist in the clay realm that's like that. For the top, I'm gonna combine some of this pearlescent pink with a little bit of this orange here. I think it'll create a coral, or in this instance, a peach. If you're curious about how I got this color, I'm gonna do 2 parts this to 1 part this. I don't think this is gonna work. This orange is like strong and it's just making the pink orange. Oops. I'm gonna add a little strip of some pearl white and hopefully that will lighten it up enough. This is the face of a woman ashamed. I never know what I'm talking about. If I ever seem like I'm confident, I'm like, this is the thing. No, I know nothing. Don't trust me. Oh yeah, that immediately helped. Yippee, I fixed it. The tops here, I'm just going to make some balls and then press them down here so that we get half circles. And when I flip them over, I plan on doing like all of the gills and divots underneath and then going in and doing that flaky detailing. You might be wondering how I'm going to get the white areas on this. I think what I'm gonna do is a little bit dry brushing later. So I'm gonna make a lot of texture and then after I'm gonna go in with a dry paintbrush that's got some white paint on it and hopefully that will highlight the rest of the details. Because of the expression that this guy has, and also because I'm doing these details like this, it just looks like a never-ending concerned forehead. Like, you know, when you're worried and you furrow your brow, it's just an infinite version of that.
To prepare our base for UV resin, I just made these little stems and then I added a bunch of little divots in them so that we could cup the UV resin once they were baked.
Alrighty, so these are all cured now. I'm wearing a mask at the moment, so if I sound a little muffled, that is what you should always be doing when you're working with UV resin. I'm about to make our gooey little bits for inside of the stems. I have this salmon pink powder pigment that I'm going to be mixing with some UV resin, and then we are hopefully going to be pipetting it in here. The moment of truth. Quick here, and hope for the best under there. It's gonna take a while. This is going to be a very lengthy process. I often notice when I'm trying to do doming with these little UV pieces that there will come a point where there's like a little bit of a bubble out. You can see it happening right now. It's curing, and then there's this little piece that wants to kind of fly out on its own. I don't know why that happens. If anybody has experience curing UV resin and you can tell me why. I'm also curious if it will happen if I'm just doing it under the UV lamp, so that'll be our test subject there as well. Why is it doing that? No, it's dripping everywhere. Man overboard. Ah!
After our one messy incident, I got into a rhythm where I was plopping a drop on them and curing them, and then I just kept cycling through all of them together. I still didn't quite figure out why we got those little spiked out bits. I did manage to dry brush them, and I'll show you the final results in the Moody Glamour shots. But now it's time for our final mushroom.
It's gonna be a little bit of a sticky wicket, but also I feel like I could be surprised at how easy this might be. In the last video, I did the ink cap mushrooms, which was something that you guys actually requested I do again, but that's already been done. And I developed a technique with liquid Sculpey where I made these little drips, baked them, and then added them on so that I could have thin, spindly pieces that wouldn't necessarily break. My thoughts are that I am going to make the veil or the lace out of this liquid Sculpey and form patterns with it. Problem is, there's a lot of these little gaps, so it's gonna be a little bit difficult for me to figure out how to keep these things separated. That's gonna be the challenge of it because I want to make the lace out of liquid Sculpey. I have no idea how I'm gonna do this. I got a couple ideas though. So I'm going to make like the little grid-like shapes and I'm going to move as quickly as I possibly can because it's going to end up all pooling together. I'm going to have to act very quickly. I'm super skeptical about how this is going to go. And I've also put this pan into the freezer. It's very, very cold, so hopefully it will slow the spread of whatever it is that we're doing. Okay, I'm very quickly gonna go and try and get this in the oven at a very high heat so that it will cure quickly and hopefully it won't all spread together. Looks like I think it actually stayed pretty holy. It's just a matter of figuring out how I'm gonna get this off of here. Let's go. Woo! Hey! Is for horses. I think we may have found how we're gonna do this. That was too easy. What, my ideas just work now?
Since my ideas actually work now, I decided that I was going to fill an entire pan with this so that we could get the best end results. And let me tell you, my wrists were definitely not happy.
I'm legit running out right at the end, and it's so troublesome. This is not satisfying at all. This is not going to be the ending that you guys wanted. Stuff is starting to merge together over here, so we have to put it in the oven. No.
Now that we've got that all cured and peeled up, it's time to make the lady for underneath the veil.
Okay, so I know that we have been doing a lot of these on the tops. I think it is imperative for the veiled lady that the face be on the stem so that the veil can mask our lady's face. She's gonna be under there, hiding, so demure. And I think it's okay actually if we do this in panels. I'm going to cut some more holes in this so it's a little bit more true to what happens in nature. I've got some tiny scissors. I'm just gonna pick away at this for a little bit just to make it look as realistic as possible.
The stems at this point are pretty standard, and I made a few of them before gluing some eyes on and getting a face ready to go. But one of the things that I was struggling with was that this sheet was not as easy to manipulate as I had wanted. And when I was putting the netting over the stem, I realized that I'd have to stick the top on to get everything to work.
Actually, I think it's good that it's transparent because then you can just like, oh my gosh, this looks so silly. I love it. I really genuinely do. Please, can someone help? Yeah, I'm gonna scrunch this up and hopefully it will work.
The very technical term for what I did here was like scrunching and cramming the tops on.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. This looks really silly, but you know what? It's been a while. It's been a while since I'm gonna texture the top of this and then make a few more. It's a thing of beauty. This is as accurate as I could get it to the prompt. I'm gonna make the rest of these. And guys, it's time for the Moody Glamour shots.
You guys have waited long enough. You may be wondering how that functioning puffball did. Let's take a little look-see.
It's time for us to test our puffer. I've got a little bit of pigment here to see if the channel will work, and I'm doing it on this glass top because I don't want to have to deal with a bunch of mess that I can't clean up after. Guess we'll just kind of load our puffball. Oh, well, we know the pigment works. It just puffed all over everything. Pre-puff. Are you ready? Oh, it doesn't work. All that buildup for nothing. Question is, will it work if I blow into it? Oh, you can see all the pigment in the air. This could be a really bad idea, but kids, don't put your mouths on polymer clay. I broke it. Well, too late to go back now. Oh yeah, that's how I'm feeling about now. A little bit defeated. I guess they'll just lay here and accept that we didn't do it right.
On the flip side, we did get the bioluminescence in these mushrooms right, so that was kind of fun. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this video and you're looking to adopt any of these fellows, I hope that you'll check out the shop update that we're having on October 24th at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. You can get a reminder by signing up for our email list on our website. I hope to see you there. Thanks so much for watching. Okay, I love you. Bye!